How's the knee feeling right now?
It's feeling pretty good.
Okay.
It actually felt really good after that first practice, like better than before practice.
All right, try that squat. Good, come on up. How are we feeling there?
Good.
Good.
I don't know if this makes any sense, but it kind of almost feels like my knee's like loose.
Loose. Okay.
Like I can't really hold it in place, like when I'm going like in that in.
With the kick.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
kind of feels like it just moves like.
Yeah, so something's not really quite as stable as we want it to be
Yes.
yet. Okay. So Dylan talks about his joints feeling loose at any time when he's doing anything. What's causing this loose feeling? Well, the thing in our bodies that creates looseness or creates stability on a dynamic scale, as in it can change, is our muscles. So how well a muscle contracts or how poorly it contracts tells you how much stability you're able to actually create in your body at any given time. So by working with him to try and activate his muscles better, get a better contraction out of each one, this should help that problem as we go down the line. That makes sense, especially with the breaststroke kick. So, well, makes sense with the issue.
Like
we don't want
like
that
how
to
when
happen.
we're on the table and you like push and like it hurts my knee when I'm in too much, like
Bent too much, yeah.
like it goes like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's
So
kind of like that when I'm kicking.
okay, some more probably adductors with that. Okay. Let's try a single leg squats when you're ready. That looks good. Feel okay?
Yeah.
Other side.
It doesn't hurt as much when I stay on the outside of my foot, like here.
Okay. Yeah, so that still tells me. So there's things called your pronators, right? So they basically are your shock absorbers in the leg, and that tells me something isn't quite working right in there that is absorbing the shock of your leg, so you try to avoid it. So as Dylan just said with his single leg squat, he feels better when he puts weight on the outside of his leg versus having a little bit of pain if he leaves it on the inside. Now, depending on your body type, this may or may not be normal. This was not normal for his case in previous sessions, so I know that there's probably some kind of compensation mechanism going on there. He's trying to avoid some type of movement that he's typically used to doing because I've seen him do this before. So what that is are his pronator muscles. Now you've probably heard of pronation at your feet. If you have flat feet, like your feet go in, your arches collapse, that's what you probably heard it as. But in reality, your pronators are essentially your shock absorbers in your leg. They go all the way from your feet up through the outside of your hip. So they include hip muscles around here, your glute medius, your tensor fascia lata, your vastus lateralis, which is your outside quad muscle, as well as some muscles in the lower leg all the way down to your foot. Every time you step down, your body absorbs that shock, those muscles slightly lengthen, and then they're like a spring, they come right back and they concentrically contract to allow you to press forward when you walk, when you run, when you're squatting, everything like that. So I'm gonna try to turn your leg out like that. Don't let me. Good. Same thing. Good. One more time. Okay, that last one. Any pain with those?
Not a whole lot. It just, yeah, it kind of feels loose.
Gotcha. Okay. Flip over one more time. So those are the deep rotators here. So we're gonna go like right there. Sorry, this kind of sucks. Good. And flip again. Don't let me turn your foot out. Good. Same thing. Good. One more time. Good. Same loose feeling or no?
No.
Cool. All right, so that's a good sign. Good. That feel okay? Mm-hmm. Don't pull your foot out. Good.
Yeah, no, that's where I get pain.
Yeah, so still there, the stabilizing aspect of that. So we know if you decrease the knee bend, that doesn't happen, right? So don't pull the leg out. Good.
No, it still happens.
Still happen. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe it's just both adductors that are that bad. Okay, let's try that again. Don't pull your foot out. Same thing?
Not as much.
Not as much. Okay.
I still kind of felt the looseness, but no pain.
Okay. Yeah, so don't push your arm down. Nice. Maybe a little bit there.
I feel like it's almost like all my joints feel loose, like unstable. I know I can pop this left shoulder like partially, like.
Yeah, that becomes a common thing with swimmers. You're not lifting much, well, really at all right now, other than when we're here. That can tend to help actually, just build stability in your joints, but you haven't stretched or anything since I've told you to stop, right? So in order to help Dylan get rid of that looseness sensation that he's been talking about, aside from just activating the muscle, which we're working here on the table, we're also trying to encourage things like lifting or resistance training to help the muscle learn how to contract better and stronger in every different situation when he's actually moving.
This way we can get him to stabilize and feel that stability so he loses that sensation, while also avoiding things like static stretching, which would make the sensation worse because it's actually making it looser.
Okay, so that's not contributing to it. So we're not making the problem worse, but don't pull up. That was definitely the main one. And then external rotators, so we'll get those guys. I'm gonna be back with some bands. You can relax there for a minute, okay?
I have practice tonight. Should I go? Should I go to practice tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. This is good test. If we activate everything, we can see if it lasts longer. Yeah, really, I mean, as long as you're not having a big flare up, let's try to keep going with practice to build it back up for you.
Yeah, I can kind of do whatever I want at practice because I'm not like actually training for the meet.
That's fair. So, okay, I'll take that. We're gonna.
So like if there's any sets you want me to do, like I can do them. I have my own lane, no instruction.
Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna put this guy in here. So let's see. What do we want you to do for swimming? You said holding off on breaststroke totally for now, right? So
Yeah, for a little bit. I strengthened my.
yeah. I'm trying to think. And sets wise, what have you been doing for freestyle?
Just form work.
Just form work. Okay. Yeah, try nothing crazy, but like, build into a set of 50s.
Yeah, I've been doing 50s form work.
And then in your case, what I would say, get to like 10 regular 50s comfortably at freestyle. Mm-hmm. And then work on a set of like 5 50s with a higher intensity. So whatever interval you're on, make it a little harder. Where you're swimming a little bit harder, see how your body responds to that. Okay. So get to 10 comfortably, move up to 5 with a higher intensity interval. Come on.
I also just think I just haven't been using the right muscles for like during my swimming though. Like,
yeah, I'd have to see your form, but like, what do you like? Your catch seems pretty good, right? So your position anyway, like this is similar to how you would have it, right? Where you're starting, and then where do you think you break down? Do you have an idea?
like right here is when I think get a lot of like on my shoulder. I think.
Okay.
Like and then through the finish of the stroke.
Okay. Yeah. So that might just be if you're feeling a lot more in your shoulder. That might just be because the lat's not getting as much as you want.
Yeah, I don't really know how to fix that.
Yeah, we could start with an exercise that just makes you feel your lat, so you know how, like, just getting that sense of like, okay, I know if this thing is turning on like it should be. Let's go ahead and do this so you don't have to stay here forever.
So the goal of the exercises that I put him through today were mostly to drive up motor unit recruitment, or like we've been talking about, just make his muscle contract better against a higher load where he has to put in a higher effort. Because we've already got that activation from the table. We need to get more out of those muscles now so that he can get better use out of them during his daily activities and swimming.
There you go.
How many?
Just 10 of those, back and forth, sorry. That feel okay?
Yep, the table.
Yes, sir. Comfortable on the knee?
Yep.
Good.
3.
Yes, sir. So this guy is mostly just for comfort of the knee. Let me show you how this goes, though. So actually, let's use a yoga mat. These are called Copenhagens. They're pretty tough. Or they're good. They're good for the adductors. Sorry, getting in the way there. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a lower level. Okay, hopefully this isn't too high. So knees are bent. This guy, hopefully enough padding here, but you're gonna try to lift here like that. That make sense? Now,
Well, I've done this before, just like with my instead of like I had my knee off the bench like that.
yeah, like that. So this is the next level, all right? So let's start off a little easier because this is tough. And right now, I just want to make sure that you can
That'd
handle
be
it.
tough on my knee.
Yeah.
Well, that was tough on my knee when it was hurting. I did that. So just
Yep. There you go. I'm just trying to hold this in place for you. How's that feeling so far?
how many?
10. Good.